And it is now go time. Artemis let us know that she might be about 10 minutes late, so we're going to start things off. First off, for those of you who are new to the channel and our watchers on Twitch right now, seems like we have one person who wasn't here last time. We are running a D&D campaign based on the original story of Dragon Age Origins, released by BioWare in 2010. This was, actually, many years ago, my first attempt at ever DMing, which is where I met Will many years ago, was this story. And here we are again. History repeats, and we're doing this story all over again with mostly new players. This is the second session, and here's how we're going to kick things off moving forward. Beginning of each session, whoever wrote the campaign summary will give a brief description of what happened, and then at that point, that person will assign who is next to write the summary. So, a brief rundown. Let's get the music going. Unfortunately for our Twitch audience, cannot hear the soundtrack, but that's a shame.
Yeah, I'm sure everyone will understand that I don't want my Twitch channel taken down.
Which is tragic. I spent like 6 hours building a soundtrack for this game, and I think it's fucking awesome.
Again, listen, the thing is not that I have it as planned as that, but if obviously things start to sprout legs, I'm sure I can send a request and use official soundtracks. But at the moment, I'm a nobody, and that's not going to happen. So,
to kick the session off last week, the beginning of our story is our heroes have all found themselves united at the fortress of Ostagar at behest of King Kalen Artemis, who is ready to engage the dark spawn which are cited to be mustering on the south end of Ferelden. It is unknown how strong their forces are, but our 4 heroes have found themselves here and have met with the Grey Warden known as Duncan. Throughout their travels, Lucius Gallus, who is acting as the camp doctor, has diagnosed that many of the casualties of the men and women who have fought so far have been infected with foreign diseases that should not take place in this region and should not have been contracted in the way that they were. Avalyn Farden, a circle mage from the Circle of Magi far away in Rivain, was assigned to come down here. She was supposed to make her way to the tower in Ferelden, but when arriving in Denerim was detoured to come help out in Ostagar. Our young noble Theodore Humphrey Farquhar von Drac, played by our Twitch streamer Will, hails all the way from the north to Winterlands and decided to come down here on a mission in secret to recon the area and learn what he can. He has decided that this is the mustering of the largest force in Ferelden currently known and wanted to know why that was, and volunteered to come here on his own. Finally, Ashkato, a wandering Kunari from far in the north, took quite the adventure on the sea lanes on his way down here.
It was entirely peaceful. Don't make anything up.
It was totally peaceful. Nothing out of ordinary happened, I guarantee it. Ended up finding an interest in the siege about to take place in Ostagar, and has a vested interest in trying to help the Grey Wardens. After they all met up, they were assigned by Duncan to travel into the forests to the south before the engagement begins, in a hope to recapture some lost Grey Warden treaties. Should they encounter Darkspawn, to capture samples of their blood. As they were tripping through the forests being stalked by unknown things, they came across multiple casualties from faraway lands that shouldn't have been here to be here, but sadly our heroes were too late to save them. They encountered strange magic rituals that had been partially completed and abandoned, and in their curiosity ended up unleashing some kind of strange giant insect aberration, which beat the shit out of them and was literally beating them with one of their own kind. But heroically, all of them managed to bring the monster down without any permanent injury. As they take some time to rest and recover, they are now back to full fighting strength, but the sunlight is running out and they are running out of time to get out of here. And with that, our story begins today. I'm going to roll a d6 to see who's going to get the session next, but feel free to begin.
I'll take it voluntarily if nobody else wants it.
Yep, Leon volunteers.
We'll do a random roll. Wait, you volunteer for it, huh?
Not me.
I would have volunteered for it.
Leon's.
Will never volunteer for these things.
All
Eric.
right.
Don't even try that.
Well enough. Leon, you're writing the summary for this week, so pay attention. With that, we shall begin.
So we've just rested, haven't we? I think when we left off, we were having
Yes,
like
you
a
guys
20-minute
rested
rest.
for about 10 to 15 minutes to repair and heal any wounds. You guys are in decent fighting shape. Beat up and low on supplies and spells, but we're in good physical condition.
Hmm.
I mean, I wasn't beat up.
That's the important part.
Exactly.
That's all that matters.
Exactly.
Quick question, V.
Yes.
I remember that I did manage to pry out and salvage one of those strange eyes from the beast. I don't recall though. Did we manage to peel off any of the chitin?
We are struggling to break it apart because it is very rough. However, if I can get two of you to attempt strength checks, if both of you pass together, we can break a piece off to keep.
I can attempt an athletics.
Yeah, I mean,
Athletics is possible, yes.
unless I can dance around it with my acrobatic.
You can be the
skill,
height man.
then there's
You
nothing I
can
can
dance
nothing I
up
can
and
do.
down doing jumping jacks. Well,
I am sorry. This is not my area of expertise.
it is simply too tough to break apart by physical force. However, Lucius, if you really want to put some time into it and you spend some time studying it, you may be able to dissolve some of it. But this could be time consuming.
I would suggest that
we did
not.
a short rest, right? So we had an hour. I
Yes.
didn't have anything to rest for because I wasn't wounded.
10 minutes.
Position of the sun says you guys have maybe an hour to 90 minutes before your sunlight runs out.
All right. This isn't that important. I don't want to waste more time.
You did salvage the eyes, though. You got plenty of time when you get back to figure out what you can do with it.
Good enough.
Perfect. Shall we move on?
Yes.
I will let the clunky cleric go first.
Artemis is still not here yet, so we're going to autopilot her character. But feel free to, guys. Evelyn will go right here. Feel free to set up your formation, and we can move that way. Lucius, where are you? Oh, so we're going to go in a nice diamond pattern. Excellent.
Oh, the
At least that way nobody will be immediately ganked.
the commoners no formations. That's really nice.
Ganking is bad.
Jabated.
Oh,
Jabated.
God.
Save your taunting for the enemy.
Please do not start another internal fight. That was stupid.
I merely defended myself.
You made sure that she attacked you.
We are continuing south in this formation.
Yes.
The wildlife of the area is clearly enamored with you. It seems people do not come here very often. So you have lots of critters kind of curiously watching you. The tree line seems to lighten up. Either something is kind of stopping things from growing here, or it was wooded some time ago. But we're approaching clearings. And as we continue south for another 20 minutes to a half an hour, we are starting to see what looks to be ruined stone pillars and what could have been a building a long time ago. Do we press on? Do we approach cautiously? Do we charge on in there, head down, shield up? How do you want to approach this?
Really
There is
have-
but one option: detect magic.
We are detecting magic, and there absolutely is a magical source nearby. Give me a knowledge arcane.
I mean, if I can, I would like to move stealthily, but keep up with the pace of the party.
Do you want to go ahead, or do you want to stay with the group?
Oh no, I'm staying in line with the group, but I'm not going ahead. I'm moving at the same pace, but also not just like running out in the open, like clunk, 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 and just like try to make myself a target.
Until you fall from another tree.
Yeah, until that. until I roll really shitty in stealth.
Ash, you are sensing magic coming from the south. And you are filtering it through your mind, trying to read what it is and what it's coming from. The origins of the spells, whatever it was, has not been cast recently enough to still be strong enough in the air to detect what it was. However, this magic is coming from a singular source, and it is primal in nature.
Hmm. Do Grey Wardens employ primal magic?
Society.
Society. Anyone else that might be able to figure it out?
Are you saying openly? So I wasn't sure if you were saying to the group.
Roleplay, because I don't know what you guys tell each other.
No,
Ash-
I'm
Ash will-
asking out of game. That's what
I know.
I'm asking Leon.
Oh, no, Ash will openly ask, do Grey Wardens employ primal magic? Because there is primal magic to our south. Old, not recent, decaying.
Grey Wardens do occasionally employ primal magic. However, most magi in the service of the Wardens are more trained than untrained. So primal would be rare, though not impossible.
Hmm.
The check was a 12, so Lucius does not know. Theo and Ash figured that one out.
Hmm.
Are we continuing on?
Yes.
I believe so.
Lucius is whispering to Theo. RP in game, y'all.
I don't want to talk over the check.
Fair.
Hmm. I wonder
Sir.
how the bug will taste. I look forward to trying.
It'll be tasty.
Yes, disembodied voice.
That was random.
Musing to myself.
I see.
All right, then.
Sir Von Track,
Yes.
you're trying to be stealthy. You want to switch spots with me. It would perhaps be a little bit there.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Theo, do you want to scout ahead, or do you want to stay with the party?
I'm staying in line with the party, but being stealthy.
Okay, so you guys are going to advance as a group.
Yes.
Yes.
All right.
Not good.
We are advancing into the ruin of the building. We are taking our time. We are being cautious. Everyone's feeling very apprehensive about it. We're going to cut the tokens and put on the new map.
No.
No!
Oh, I sense Darkspawn in the air.
Everyone should be loading the new map. If you do not see yourself, scroll to the south.
Ah, I know what map that is.
Leon helps make maps, because I hate making maps.
Either I make them or I crib them from my massive collection.
We have reached what looks to be a ruin of a fairly large and it can't be that old estate. Nature has started to reclaim it. There's leaves growing where they shouldn't be. In front of you looks like a landing that shouldn't be underwater, but it is now after years and years of water getting into it. But everyone's nose is curling up. Something very nasty is nearby. Everyone give me a perception check.
Yeah, let's continue the bad rolls for me anyway. Oh, I mean that's a waste of a natural 20.
Okay, well,
Leon, why can't I do that on attacks, man?
that's how it
I
works.
am sorry. You are simply not spirited when it comes to combat. Too much arrogance.
I mean that's the whole thing. I need to be.
Less arrogance, more focus.
Waiting on a perception from Ash.
That did not trigger. 1 second, once again. Yeah, no, I'm busy. Too much to study.
Ash and Lucius are taken in by the beautiful surroundings of this area that you have not seen described on any history book or tourist travel guide or any markings in Ferelden that you've ever seen.
Could I attempt a law ruins check?
Yes.
No.
This
Bad
again is too
rolls.
foreign to you. Although you admire its simplicity and architectural sense, this place looked very solid, and given how long it may have been abandoned, nature could have destroyed it by now, and it still stands relatively intact. Theo, the soldier in him, rather than marveling at the marble floors and
I'm
the
used to this.
trees, is going, "This is a great place for an ambush," and is paying attention when no one else is. Theo, up here, to your guys' north, you see movements, though you can't identify what it was. Whatever it was seems to be reacting, and what was just random shuffling movements is becoming loud and abrupt.
I'm gonna take a defensive position. We'll whisper into the group of people. I'm like, there's movement up there. They're reacting to us. Everyone prepare. And I'm gonna draw out my rapier and I point out in the direction to the north of where I saw the movement. There's no point to try to be discreet about it. They've already saw us, so
Very well.
so I would say personally,
Hey, Artemis is here. Perfect
Wonderful.
timing, Art.
I would say personally we go up from the right. Let's not go through the center.
As soon as that's mentioned, I'm gonna dash up here 10 feet and take cover behind the this wall or half wall or whatever it is.
It is about 4 feet in height, so you can get partial cover behind it.
And I will study the direction that that he was indicating to see what's going on.
Everyone is now aware of the noise moving up from the north. Something is definitely aware of your presence and is reacting to your movement. Art, you here?
I'm here, yes.
Are you on the map?
Yes.
Cool. You guys have found the remains of the Warden temple that you were trying to find. And as you came in here, something noticed you. Everyone is taking cover as the two sides are preparing to engage each other.
Well, I suppose I would reciprocate the intent of taking cover then. I will probably be keeping my head low until something gets close enough to be stabbed. Since it's about all I'm good for.
Okay.
A question, if I may.
Yes.
How deep does the water look? Is this something we can walk through, or is it swimming terrain?
Oh, it's about 3 to 4 feet. You
So
could
difficult
wade
to
through
wade.
it.
Yeah.
You
So
can wade
difficult.
through it, yes.
Okay. Theo, you should totally do a sick
No.
trick jump over there.
Nope.
Dude, if you jump from there to here, it would be awesome.
I mean, it would be awesome, but I'm not getting anything out of it.
As
So
they say in the Kunari language.
The rule of
don't speak that
balls.
filth to me.
Did you just say no balls?
But sadly, we have to wait until something happens because I'm not getting out of cover.
That's
Okay. You guys are anxiously awaiting whatever's
Well,
going to happen.
I would like to, if I could, stealthily move up to the right here.
Okay, give me a stealth check. One moment. As you are moving, you are being very conscious of the shadows you can move on, the way your footfalls land against the hard rock. You are certain that your movement is being unnoticed.
Cool. I will say to Lucius, who was closest to me, in a hushed voice that I'm going to move up through the right. You guys move up, I will be there. So he knows where I'm going.
I would like to attempt to create a distraction. Specifically, I'm trying to see if I can draw them out. Maybe by throwing a few stones or something like it in that general direction with telekinesis. Is that acceptable?
Yes. Give me a.
That would be, under normal circumstances, deception, but I can sub in performance. Because Bard, which is great.
I would go with performance because the enemy isn't consciously aware of you.
Well, either way, it will be performance.
Go for it.
Nope, not that great, of course.
Ash levitates some little rocks and tries to whip them off into the stone wall over there. But most of them slam into the tree nearby and don't make enough noise to really gain any notice. Theo, you will give me another perception check.
This is where I fail and I just like walk into something.
Are you gonna continue moving?
Yeah, I fail. So I'm being stealthy. Like I'm moving with the group. As I said to Lucius, I'm not going to overextend myself. For then that means they need to react. I want us to be proactive. I don't want us to be reactive. So I'm staying here at the moment because I know the enemy knows that we were around this general vicinity, but separating ourselves is probably a good idea. Not to the extent, again, where people need to overextend, but I'm being proactive and kind of not giving the enemy the most advantage they can possibly get. So I'd be around this area, just kind of like, I'd say maybe at, this looks like a big tree, I've been using that to my advantage and staying there.
Okay, so you're going to hang out here.
Yeah, while watching this corridor or just walkway for anything that's coming down.
Well, your perception was shit. So if something's moving through here, you're not paying enough attention. My 3 that have taken cover down there, you guys are hearing the ping, ping, ping of arrows smacking into the rocks from which you guys are taking cover.
Excellent. Can I see the general direction where it's coming from? Like, is it straight ahead of us? Is it slightly to the left or right?
If you look to the extreme north end of the map, it is coming from this direction. As of now, combat hasn't initiated. When you guys want to go loud, you can let me know. But until then, we're going to stay out of combat.
I have another idea in regards to maybe making them blow their cover. I am going to grab another rock, I'm going to cast light on it, and then I'm going to use telekinetic projectile to throw it away. Maybe over there, see if they reveal themselves afterwards.
All right.
Or no, actually, over there. That seems more reasonable.
That will definitely be a performance, and it won't be as hard.
Let's see. Much better.
Ash stills his mind and calms down, remembering that, oh yeah, I have to actually do this properly or we all might die. Levitates a rock off the ground, starts to charge it with some dancing lights, just whips it off into the middle of the area and it pings over here. All of a sudden we hear shouting and arrows smacking into this. Some of our enemies are going to be revealed. You see 4 archers and what looks like a mage are all peppering that area in surprise. But we still hear noise from this general direction.
I'm going to clear my throat a little bit. Guys, give me a second. I'm going to keep the distraction. Maybe Sir Vondrak can advance and catch someone by surprise. I'm going to start doing like that, like the belly crawl. And it might take me a minute, but I'm going to go over this way. Now, are these, I'm assuming these are like bushes, or is this just covering from trees over here?
This is tree cover. You can move through it.
Okay. So there's nothing on the ground except stone?
Stone, grass that's growing up through the rocks.
Okay. Specifically, still staying low beyond the cover. So I want to stick my head out like a pincushion. Once I'm over this general direction, I'm going to grab some rocks, just maybe like 3 or 4, and I'll just start throwing them like up over my head. Just trying for distance more than anything else. Maybe like over here, somewhere between, so it lands like near the wall or the water. Just again, my intent here is to get their attention this general direction away from the others.
With all that,
Just give me a raw dex check. Theo, another perception.
while that's going on, I was going to say I want to take advantage of what Ash has just done. So while they're kind of like peppering that and focusing on that, and then obviously Lucius is trying to create another diversion. Can I move up stealthily while also being perceptive? I imagine the enemy's probably trying to do the same. Not just going to
First, give me a perception check anyway, because the enemy's also trying to be stealthy.
Oh, you can't listen. These noble eyes see everything.
These shameful people trying to sneak while you're trying to sneak. How dare they?
Tell me
Is
what.
it just a privilege of
Cowards!
nobles to be sneaky?
Only nobles get to sneak around here, not these filthy beasts.
All right.
What do you see with your special eyes?
You're going to get a free stealth check here because you got a nat, but I will tell you an idea where they are.
Mhm.
Movement right here. And you get a stealth check as long as you don't
I didn't see your
miss
ping,
by
sorry.
10.
Did anybody see his ping? I didn't see it, sorry.
I did not see his ping.
Really?
No,
You
I
got?
didn't.
I didn't see it, man, sorry.
Oh, okay. I know why. Hold on.
Well, you said
Do you
some
see it
GM
now?
pings.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
Because I had GM overlay selected, and that's why it wasn't appearing.
Okay.
All right, so Theo, there is movement here. I'm not going to reveal the enemy yet,
Mhm.
but after you do your movement, as long as you don't fail by 10 or more.
Gosh darn GM pings dragging my screen.
It's great.
I'm kidding, you're fine.
Do I...
Adeline also hasn't done anything, so she's going to get a moment too.
Avalon can go next. I know what I want
What
to do.
were the
so-
results of my dex check?
You are throwing rocks over in this direction, and the enemy archers are so confused by what's going on. They're just firing their arrows at wherever the noise is. So you're fairly certain that the enemy defense or rear line is no longer tracking where you guys are.
Excellent. Thank you.
Theo,
So-
let's get another stealth check, and then we'll have Avalon go.
As long as I didn't fail by 10, that's what you said. That's a 14.
Yeah, but you're not going to get very far. Are you going to keep moving north?
Well, what I was going to ask before, I was going to allow Avalon to go, what I was going to ask is, within that 20, do I get an understanding of, with the movement, how many footsteps do I hear? Like, is it like, how can I must hear something like, can I give me an idea of number-wise?
You got a nat 20, so we're going to get a full reveal. I'm just not going to bring it all out till all of you have had your full turn yet.
Okay, so yeah, I imagine in this situation, I've perceived where the enemy is. I've tried to move up stealthily, but with being so alert to obviously what's going on, I've not maybe been moving the best, so I'd maybe move 10 to 15 feet and just stay there with my rapier out, and I'm ready to strike the first guy that comes, or first thing that comes into my distance, because I want to get a surprise on them, because I imagine they don't see me. But
No, they are not aware of
I
you.
know where they are at least, so I want them to kind of come into my attack.
Adeline, what you doing?
Okay, so a couple questions before I move. How far is the drop on this ledge here?
About
5 feet, 10.
9 feet. You could
Okay.
certainly do it without any harm. The water
this a
itself is
ledge?
maybe 3 to 4 feet deep.
Yep. Is this a ledge here?
That is a ledge. You could pull yourself over it. It's maybe 3 feet.
It's only a
It's
3-foot
partially
ledge.
submerged in the water, so it's not tall.
Okay.
Can I ask a question for
And-
Avalon as well? If that's okay, Avalon? Can I ask a question for you?
Sure.
If Evelyn was to go in that water, is it going to be like half movement speed for her? Or
It'll
no?
be considered difficult terrain because you're wading through hip-high water.
Right, okay.
Okay, that's kind of what I was expecting to be the case anyway.
You won't have to
Which-
swim in it, but
Yeah,
movement will be
it's
slow.
It is half movement.
Listen, the luck we have had with people in heavy armor and water, Jack, our last player, oh my god. And there's,
No,
there's a mage over there, so no.
I almost drowned one of the player characters the last time we did this by just pushing a heavy armor guy in the water. And he spent like 8 turns trying to get out, and then the enemy wizard was like, nope. Mage hand just pushed him back in. It was hilarious. He almost drowned in a river.
Wasn't it hydraulic push? Something like that?
It was incredible.
Mage hand would be pretty mighty to manage to keep somebody pinned in the water.
It was a long time ago, but I definitely remember how it worked. It was amazing.
It was probably telekinesis or hydraulic push.
It was someone who deserved it too, because he was a...
Not trying to jinx Evelyn, I'm just saying, like, with bad experiences, like, for myself and Leon in prior games, with people going into water, so...
Just don't. Water's bad news.
We can't just keep sitting behind cover because we're afraid to push up.
Correct.
Can I...
I'm probably the best person to make my presence known with my heavy armor, even if it is risky.
It is your action.
Yep. All right. Terrible decision. Ho! I am going to mantle over the banister, making it as obvious as possible. Well, I'm going to say, fuck, none of you would know Elvish.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah, you sure?
Well, even so, you guys are like 20 feet away at this point, so being
Fair
audible
enough.
to both of you without being overly loud to say what I'm going to do. I'm going to look in both of your directions. Assume that douchebag is waiting for something.
Listen, man, you can't say that about Ash. He's a nice person. Just because he covers himself up. A life choice.
Yeah, you fucking racist.
Am I about to put the hero music on? Is Evelyn about to do something really stupid?
I imagine Evelyn's going to shout Leroy Jenkins in Elvish. I'm hoping that's the case.
Sorry, I'm getting pestered. Back to what I was doing. I give a look towards the 2 people that I can see and assume that douchebag is waiting for somebody to pull their attention. And then I'm going to mantle. And I'm going to use 2 actions so that I can actually get up here and take the dodge action behind this pillar so that I have as much evasion and cover as possible.
Excellent. Let's put on some hero music because that took some balls.
Well, it was nice to have known you.
Well, we'll see what happens.
Theo, your nat 20 fully reveals the enemy.
Life is for people that are afraid of dying.
Theo, you're seeing 2 swordsmen, 2 spearmen. The swords and spears all have shields. You see a particularly larger guy with a 2-handed club. And they are now distracted by the loud splashing noise in the water. It looks like they are moving very slow with their heads down and their shields up. They were trying to move stealthily, but you picked them up. And now... Everyone, roll initiative. Make sure you have your token